Yeah, we're really paying attention this morning, aren't we? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have some really exciting music this morning with Adrian and Bobby Gray, and we hope you enjoy them as much as I have since I've been sitting here listening.
Mary, did you invite the children up? We're going to sing the first song to the children.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Did you invite the children up? We're going to sing the first song. All right, we'll sing the rainbow song.
All right. Go sing the rainbow song. All right.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, they're only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it, but I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish should be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? I think that they're one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
That was great. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'm Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell. I'm a practitioner here today and happy to be in service. And so here, our motto, vision, is inspiring people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. And we have a lot of new classes coming on, and we hope that you'll take advantage of that and spring forward your growth in your own personal spirituality. We're going to invite the children forward, and as they come forward, our musicians will play a little bit, and then they're going to do a special song. So if the children would come forward.
I like your eyes. you glad. You should be glad there's no one exactly like you.
Don't you ever wish you had a brother that would sing to you in church? I mean, talk about adorable. Absolutely adorable. Thank you, ladies. That was really nice. Really nice. All right. I'd like to thank all the other people in service today. We have Lindy and Joey in the sound booth, Doug and his wife as ushers, and we have the kitchen cookies in the kitchen, and we have our musicians, and Judy's here too, so glad we're all here today. If you have a cell phone, I would appreciate it if you put it on airplane mode. That would be very nice. And if you're new with us today, we have a wonderful friendship packet that Doug and Ronnie would be happy to bring to you. Just raise your hand and they'll bring it right over. Anybody new? All right, well, if you want one, anyway, they're on the back wall in the blue folder. Thank you, Doug. And if you're new and would like to see the grounds out back, we have 3.5 acres here and a couple of other buildings. I'd be happy to take you around after the service. Just come meet me by the bell and say, show me around. All right, we have some focus announcements. I think the first one is really important. It's a new class from home office. It's called Principles and Practices. And our new practitioner, Christy, is going to offer that starting May 13th. It's 5 weeks on a Thursday from 3 to 5. She's doing this because we have a couple of people interested in taking practitioner training down the road. And in order to get into practitioner training, which is our prayer practitioners, it takes 6 classes, and you can't take them 2 at a time. You have to just plod through and take them over 6 quarters. So she's going to help a couple new people get going on the practitioner trail. So if you're interested, please join that. The principles and practices are the core of what we teach here. All right. The used book sale goes through May 6th, so be sure and check it out. And if you have an idea for something to improve the center, there are some grants available from the Endowment Committee, and the deadline for the grant application is May 1. And I believe the application's at the board desk. Linda Mitchell's our board member of the day. Good morning, Linda. Glad you're here. And our rummage sale begins May 5th, Friday, from 7 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and Saturday from 7 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. So after service today, I hope you all just grab your chair and stack it against the wall, and we'll be done in 5 minutes. And then there's a whole team that will turn this into Macy's. It's just, honest to God, they do a fabulous job. So move the chairs, help us move the chairs, and we'll get started on that. And you can start bringing your items in to be sold starting tomorrow, so that will be great. Robin Backstrom is our practitioner that does the book club, and she loves doing the book club because she's such an enthusiastic person when it comes to getting the most out of a book and implementing it in your life. Her next book is Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and I'm sure many of you read that years ago, and she'll start Monday, May 8th. It's on Mondays 2 to 4, and she said it's for people who follow their hearts, who get special pleasure out of doing something well, and know there's more to living than meets the eye. That's Jonathan Livingston Seagull. So join them. And I think they're in the children's cottage, I believe. Social hall. Oh, good. Okay, that's good. Sacred Sisters, Monday, May 8th with Reverend Sue, 7 to 8:30 in the evening. And they'll be sharing practices, inviting you to listen to your heart's message more intimately. You know, our heart and our intuition are talking to us a lot, and sometimes we're just not paying enough attention to those beautiful words of wisdom. The men's group is also Monday, May 8th from 7 to 9 p.m., and they're creating friendship among the men in the community. So that's Monday, May 8th. At the board desk, there is a survey that we would appreciate everyone filling out. It's not very long, it'll take you a few minutes, but the board is trying to get some information on how to channel through the next year. And so we'd appreciate you filling that out. Shari and Wyndham is going to do another beautiful watercolor class, and it's The Beauty of Flowers. I think she is so good at this. She's just amazing. Wednesday, May 10th, 1 to 4:30, minimum of 4, maximum of 10 people. It'll be focused on painting flowers infused with sparkle, color, and the effects of light and shadow. She's excellent at that. And then I'll be doing a caregiver support group. It's on second Thursdays, which would be May 11th, 10 to noon. And I started this because I'm doing caregiving for my husband now for about a year. And I'll tell you, I walk out of here enthusiastic. Like, yes, I'm not going to get angry anymore. I'm just going to say, yes, dear, what would you like? Well, we all wish we would do that all the time. But then we lift each other up, and if that's something that would be beneficial to you, please come, just come. And then the spiritual music jam led by Mike Harris, Steve Smith, and Margot Friend Coy. How do you say that? Margot? Margot, just Margot, okay. Save the day. Friday, May 12th, 7 to 8:30. Bring the instrument of your choice, and if you haven't been, believe me, you're going to love it. All the sounds of music that come through that whole group. Soar, the Spirit of Adventure Renewed, Saturday, May 13th. This is a really great one, going to Shasta Abbey in Mount Shasta, picnic at City Park, and visiting the Sisson Museum and Fish Hatchery. That's a full day. And in order to get in Shasta Abbey, you have to be on the sign-up sheet. So please check with Share and do that. That'll be a wonderful time. All right, now we'll have our reading. Oh, the reading. Dion, all right. I'm looking for Dion. Oh, there you are. You're always sitting over there. Okay. It's funny how we are. Dion's one of our newest board members, so he'll do the reading this morning, which is great. And then we'll invite the bell 3 times so that you can take that reading into your mind and heart. And then I'll do a spiritual mind treatment, and then Reverend Sue will talk about power and possibility. Come on up, Dion.
Power. From the pocket guru, Dr. Siri Sat Nam. Do we feel the power within? Can we own it? Assuredly, we want to gracefully and humbly live in our power. Each of us is a powerhouse. But we also must recognize the power within others. When the power within merges with the power without, we become powerful. It's then we must become responsible and use our power to uplift ourselves and others. Power is within me, and power is within you. Power is abused. When it's abused, it's an act of hubris. Power is knowing and relating consciously to the divine within. Power can be mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual. Power directed in the mental realm is creativity. Power directed in the physical realm is strength. Power directed in the emotional realm is passion. Power directed in the spiritual realm can create miracles. Power used correctly empowers others as well as myself. Power is divine. Power is mine to claim.
There is only one power in the world. And that power was created long ago by something I call infinite intelligence. Call it what you will. That has put that power in motion throughout the universe. There's energy in the air, there's energy in each of us, there's energy in every flower and every rock, everything. It's all the energy and power of the one. And so I recognize that in each person here and each person in the world has that aspect of infinite intelligence and power. Power to create a life they want, power to make decisions, good or bad. Individual power. I know for myself, as I know for everyone here today, that when we use that power for good and it returns to us, sometimes we're just darn surprised. And when we use that power for negative experiences, we can also be, unfortunately, surprised. So I choose for myself and you today that it's a day of positivity. It's a day of loving the sunlight, loving hearing the birds, just loving everything about nature and our homes and our families. Seeing good in everything today, everything. And as we feel that good coming back to us, we can celebrate even more. So thank you, Spirit, for giving us this amazing capacity to create greater love, greater happiness, and greater peace in the world. I release any worry about it because I know it's in your hands. Thank you. And so it is.
Let me get this just right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are you listening? No, I can't hear you. That's what we hear all the time here. I want you to know that we, as the board, work so hard to try to get the sound just perfect in this room because there's a lot to hear. And so that's another one of the endowment grants that we're going to do is try to get some new speakers up here. But I have to applaud our sound team because they're always tweaking it. And so we're doing our best. And I appreciate you all letting us know when we need to do a little bit better. So that's the power of vulnerability right there. I'm ending the month's series of talking about this by turning it back to power and possibility. What can be better than that? And it starts off with this wonderful quote from Thomas Edison. When you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this: you haven't. Right? Thomas Edison. We haven't. We're never done. We can always try harder. So this invitation this month has been a challenging one. We have continued to invite you all to embrace vulnerability instead of hiding it anywhere inside of you. Don't avoid it as if it were a sign of your weakness. And now we can recognize today, take what we have learned and find that there is a power and a possibility that is brought forth as we empower ourselves to connect with our wholeness, with our sense of who we are, and not dismiss any part of us that just isn't so pretty. And the one precious life that we have, is inviting us all of us, to see that this is part of our true authenticity, and change will happen when we become our truest self. The global vision of CSL, I want to remind you, Center for Spiritual Living, the overall organization, speaks boldly of this. One of the things that Earnest Holmes was very passionate about, and one of the last things he wrote about, was that his teaching was open at the top. He didn't want to cram it down and say, no, the dogma must be this. The principles have to stay like this. Everything has to stay, and people have to abide. No. He spent his lifetime searching the faith paths of the world, searching his heart, and he brought all of his writings and all of his messages back to that one part: stay open at the top. Stay open at the top of your heart. Stay open to yourself. And so this idea, we continue to live boldly from that. And so the overall organization has taken that to heart. And the whole idea this whole year is to live out loud. Know these teachings and live out loud. Go serve the world. Don't hide, but live out loud. So the global vision, we envision all people, all beings, all life as expressions of God. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing, yes, a unity with the divine and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. Right there are the key words for me. We're called to a higher consciousness. So we are elevating our understanding by showing up and listening, and then inviting ourselves to involve ourselves completely with the teaching. So as we pause just a little moment here to reflect on power itself, there's one of the books that Earnest Holmes wrote is this thing called You, and I have one of the editions here that he wrote, and I have referenced this a lot. It reads differently to me every time I pick it up. But this thing called You, and the same power, he says, to drive our cars forward and put in reverse to move it backwards is the same power. So that's what he calls and refers to as the creative power. Not good, not bad. It just is. That power is at the center of each and every one of us. His most favorite recorded message, you can hear him declare this: there is a power in the universe, and you ought to use it. He echoes Emma Curtis Hopkins when he shares that powerful statement. So are you using yours? Are you using your power to move forward in life? Or are you backpedaling slowly? Or are you simply stalled out? It's something I invite you to look at carefully. Earnest Holmes says, in transforming energy into that power I speak of, we are uniting an invisible essence, so something that we cannot see. We can't see power, with an invisible law. What is that law? Let me remind you, simply, it is done unto you as you believe. This, again, I'm going to reread it here. In transforming energy into power, we are uniting an invisible essence with an invisible law, capital L, which is the way the universe operates. If we identify ourselves with the source, with that divinity, then our word establishes eternal harmony, transforms everything, rearranges everything to our benefit. It is an act of complete surrender of the human to the divine, without the loss of the human, a complete inflowing of the divine into the human. So it is really, it's what the ecstatic poetry of Rumi speaks of. It is this passion and this power that we connect with and we live. So many powerful advisors, spiritual advisors that we have leaned into for support, recognize how to access this power. And so when we feel bruised in certain areas of our lives, we know where to turn. Mark Nepo is one of my favorite authors, and he compassionately notes this that I want to share. Even if it takes years, it is important to heal the wounded places so we can recover the full use of our heart. Recover the full use of our heart, of your heart. Please personalize this to you. For the parts of our heart that are left wounded, unresolved, they remain preoccupied and not available to us to use in living. Whew. That's a Band-Aid for me over my heart for some of my bruised areas. And I think, yeah, I'm holding something here. I'm holding something. I'm so angry that I'm still holding it. It's like a dead carcass that I just keep hauling around, and it's got a bad stink. I know it. So I'm realizing this. I'm leaving it unresolved. It's preoccupying me, so I'm not my fullest self. If unprocessed, that wounded place becomes dark and hard. Being vulnerable allows us to recover our heart, because being vulnerable and tender allows our wounds to soften and heal. He explores the idea from here that anger is what is hardening us, right? And maybe whatever happened to myself or to you along the way, along the life's journey, maybe that anger is justifiable. And maybe it feels, because of that anger, it just is too difficult to release. And we don't want to process it completely. We just want to get over it. We just want it to go away, and we want peace. But when we can quietly hold it, when we can take whatever it is and just hold it, it will soften. It will soften. As he refers to it, we bear witness then to the sadness that was lying underneath. Think about it. Just think about yours, how anger got there in the first place. Most likely, we were hurt. But staying in that anger, we then think it is the anger that we need to free up. We think that's what's bothering us, that's what's in the way. And the hurt underneath that anger then becomes even an easier target for that anger to spark our mood and our temperament. And time and again, then we return to the loop of our suffering. Remember that tale? I can't remember the words of it exactly, but when the Buddha said, which arrow hurts first, the first or the second arrow? It's the second arrow, because that's the one that we just push in and out, in and out, in and out. And we just let it stay there and sever. So he says, our hearts remain unattended to because we have layered so much protective anger around it. That deep wounded part of our heart that is never available to us lies there deep. We have to bring it into light to return to the natural essence of our wholeness. It is our divine way. Yeah, that's vulnerability at its core. And we live here, though, coming to a spiritual sanctuary where we can hear principles of truth, to establish a deeper faith in knowing that here is a direct path to living an authentic life as we establish our faith in the divine way to determine our creative power through all situations. And here it gets exciting because then we are awakening to the possibilities of our transformation and our transcendence. Think about what that word means to you, transcendence. What would it be like? What would it be like for me to end this suffering? I'm so tired of the story. I can transcend. Mark Nepo says, the sweetness of living comes to us when the very humanness we regret and try to hide, our seeming flaws and shameful secrets, are worked by time and nature into a honey all their own. Isn't that extraordinary? Into a honey all their own. And Deepak Chopra is another one that enlightens us, because he then points, he's talking about this power. Now we're looking at, well, the possibilities that can come from this. And he is quoted, "When you discover your essential nature and know who you really are, in that knowing itself is the ability to fulfill any dream you have, because you are eternal possibility, the immeasurable potential of all that is, all that was, is, and will be." Law of success. So, touching the truth of possibilities helps us to regain our footing on the spiritual path. When we just face the huge wall of what might be our next step as our starting points, we can feel overwhelmed. We can just feel disillusioned by seeing, there's so much here I can't see. I can't see through. But if we break it down, stone by stone, step by step, and let what built a wall in front of us, we take each stone down and it becomes a pathway. And we walk the pathway to our true nature. So we break it down, and the map of possibilities become more tangible, more believable, more possible. And we set our course in small ways to overcome what was, and we start walking forward, this is exciting, on a path of mastery. Barriers will disappear, I guarantee it. Faith will allow those barriers to, you thought they were there. It's like the gateway that you come towards. You come towards that gateway and you think, I just can't go through. I don't know what's on the other side. It's a big door to open. And then with all your strength, with all your power, you say that divine yes, that willingness to push. And the meadow of wildflowers that we've been seeing, blessing our earth after these rains, is what leads you forward to your destiny. Doorways, gateways, they all open for us. Our true potentiality is beckoning us. Keep on. Keep on. I have a framed card in my home that I've had for many, many years. And it's just a little wooden sign that says, keep on the path. Just keep on the path. And I put it in a very central place, in the very center of my home. Keep on the path. We're not stuck in ruts. We're not forced to live in our old patterns. We are set free. We're set free always, daily, with every breath to be our highest and best self. Our loving awareness is blossoming inside of us, holding us, embracing us, leading us, wrapped arms around us so we stay on course. So next time, and you possibly will, get triggered again. Don't think of it as backsliding. Pause and realize it is the divine. It is the divine nudging you with loving awareness to feel deeper in that moment and to remind you, you've got this. You've got this. Don't backslide. You've got this. So what you think is taking you back into the loop? Oh no. It's that divine urge saying, no, forward you go. Power be with you. You have rewritten the script of your inner dialogue. The ink disappears on the old story, and you've lived under that for way too long. Loving awareness is all that you see before you. So our viewpoint continues to expand into multiple possibilities now, instead of staying tortured in a fragile, sad heart, a heart that feels caged and unhappy. We own our power. Dion read that so beautifully. Can you tell he wants to be a minister? I thought I can't follow his act. It all goes. But think about, we own our power, we take back our power, and the story of what was and the characters involved no longer have the privilege of sapping any of our power. We don't give our power away. We stand in it. Insights are revealing themselves. Opportunities are calling us forward. We speak our truth, own our heart again. It's the divine way. Now, I have to share, as I get close to the end of this, one of my Spirituality and Health is one of my favorite magazines, filled with all styles of information. But the Rabbi is one of my favorites, Rabbi Rami Shapiro. So listen to this. It's at the Q&A. I'm an atheist. This is what the rabbi got. I am an atheist. My wife reads your magazine monthly and has the annoying habit of reading your column to me out loud. I'm doing that too. While she denies this, I think you're a closet atheist hiding behind a gaseous spiritual fog. I dare you to tell her what God you really believe in. Here's his reply. See, that would be kind of like a vulnerable attack there. What would you write back? His response, you're right. I don't believe in God. I experience God. The God I experience doesn't choose one people over all others, save or damn, write or dictate books, have a dress code, demand the slaughter of animals or humans, or dabble in real estate. The God I experience isn't obsessed with race, sex, or gender, isn't traumatized by women's hair, and isn't obsessed with female or male genitalia. The God I experience is the non-dual, dynamic, happening as all happening, hinted at by the ineffable Hebrew verb, Yud He Vawe He, to be. I hope this isn't too foggy for you. In any case, please thank your wife for her support. And just that you know, we are a bi-monthly magazine. Her reading out loud only seems monthly to you. Score. So brilliant. That's power, isn't it? Wasn't mean. It was right on. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what I believe. And then you just go for it. Meet that challenge this week, just to yourself. What do you believe? So this invitation to live out loud and no longer feel insignificant in any way is the invitation to know your truth, to have the courage to let it empower your life by expressing it in prayer and affirmation. It doesn't mean you have to write columns to the paper. That's a good thing to do. But the first place to start is in prayer, affirmative prayer, affirmation. And so I want to close with reading a section of this thing called You, as he leads us into this direct awareness. So just briefly going through this, I'm going to start right here. Cultivating your own thought, living in continuous expectancy and affirmation, knowing that the truth in season and out of season, you are doing your part. The law will never fail you. Your problem is to convert your own thinking. You do this through words, audibly, inaudibly expressed, through thoughts, ideas, beliefs, prayer, which is silent communion with that which is invisible. Realization, meditation, whatever you choose, you call it the process. Words are the molds into which the creative substance of your consciousness flows. Words without meaning, while they may have some effect through constant repetition, cannot have the same effect that words with meaning have. Your words will have meaning in such a degree as you actually feel. They are the activity of spirit within you. You want to feel the power of your words. So Jesus told the paralyzed man, "Get up, walk." His words were simple enough. You too, you can say it. "Arise, take up thy bed and walk." But what would happen if you were to say these words? Would your inner consciousness rise in complete conviction? Or would there be a reservation in your thought, some belief that perhaps that man would not actually pick up his bed and carry it home? Here is a fine point in using the power within you. You must develop spiritual awareness, which is transcendent, which knows that it is as easy for the truth to say, "Get up and walk," as it is for a tired man to say, "Lie down and rest." Calls for faith, understanding, a complete conviction that God is right where you are, that life is speaking through you. The law of life is obeying your word, your will. Words without this awareness have no power. Spiritual awareness is the healing that is loosened through your word. While it is true, thoughts are things, they are things in your experience only, to such a degree as your inward consciousness continues to pour the fire of conviction into the form of your intellectual affirmation. And you might hear yourself say, "Well, I'm not Jesus." Does it matter? Does it really matter? Because all of this is just uniquely to you. Because also remember, in a more tangible way that you might accept, when Jesus said, "Peace be unto you, peace be with you," it was. What better thing can we do to our fellow human being than, instead of cursing them because their beliefs are way different than ours, they have conspiracy theories that take us off the map, "Peace be with you," and you mean it. It's a common ground. It's a starting place. It's the gateway into the meadow. And when he said also to the wind, "Be still," and the wind and the wave were stilled. Just keep knowing that the power invested in the power of your word, the power of the prayers, we try to inform you the style of treatment that they call it in the Science of Mind tradition. I'm going to have Joey come up because he exemplifies this to me. He walks this path. So when I say, "Be still," and you hear what he has to share with you, and then you hear his flutes that he creates from the wood itself. It's not something he got off Amazon. No, he sat with it. He created it. And he brings forth that beauty to you. Ernest Holmes says, "Everything in the universe is a unique individualization, an expression of one thing, which is the cause of all things. We are to view ourselves, each in the other, and behold God in all." God, the mystery, nature. What do you call the beloved? Begin to see it in one another. Joey is going to share, and then I'll move into the closing prayer that came with this section, this thing called you. So please go into a meditative state and be comfortable, and thank you, Joey.
This poem is called "Walking Forward." On this journey of life, I have seen how I have a choice. I can move on, always looking back, carrying old ways, old habits. I can also move on looking ahead. You see, there is this beautiful thing we call free will. We are living in a time of great change. We are living in a time where choices are put right before us. Look back. Do you really want to keep carrying that old stuff? Look forward. Drop that load. It is no longer of service to you. Moving forward, the burden is light. We are in a time of great change. Let go. Move forward. The burdens drop away. You see, forward is moving into the self. The self is light, and I am light, and I choose to lighten my load.
I begin this prayer from words from David White, the poet. Vulnerability is not a weakness, a passing indisposition, or something we can arrange to do without. Vulnerability is not a choice. Vulnerability is the underlying, ever-present, and abiding undercurrent of our natural state. To run from vulnerability is to run from the essence of our true nature. In faith, take these words in from Earnest Holmes, heart to yours. I speak it in the first person. I invite you to claim it as yours. I know that I am in the Spirit of God. I know that the Spirit of God is in me. I know that the Spirit is complete, perfect. Therefore, it must be complete and perfect in me. I know that the Spirit is now operating in my affairs. It is manifesting its beauty and harmony in everything I do. I know that my body is a spiritual idea manifested in form. I know that every organ of my body is a manifestation of pure spirit, contains within itself a pattern of joy, peace, divine order, harmony, complete perfections. The word I speak is recognizing right here and now that each and every one of us is one with this divinity, with this truth, with this power. And before us now, we walk with loving awareness into the possibilities of living life to its fullest. Thank you, God, for the ears that were able to hear, for the heart that was able to hold the words, and for the willingness to soften the wounds so that truth prevails again. I release this word knowing that we all are together in walking in our faith, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. Thank you. Ladies, rainbow ladies.
God is love, and it is love that allows us to experience our true power. Give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Kind friends all gather round. There's something we would say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked these mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love, so give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Yes, give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
I want to invite Judy and Steve up for just a moment because we have some really special guests in our audience today, and I would like for them to just say a word, because what a perfect song about who they are, who Judy and Steve are, who humanity is, and who this family is that is joining us today.
Hi, everyone. I really don't know what to say other than that life is amazing, and when we give ourselves to love, you just never know what opportunities come your way. And so we were away on a trip on the coast and heard that a Ukrainian family is in Reading and needed a place to stay. And we knew we had a place, and so we offered our place from a distance. And it's all history now. We have a new family with 3 wonderful kids and 2 wonderful parents, and our hearts are just so filled with joy and love. And here we are. So we have Pavel, the dad, over here, and Elisa, the mom, with little Manu. Welcome, welcome to Reading. Reading is their new home from Ukraine. And they've had a long journey of escaping, a long journey. And we're just so grateful that they've come to Reading, and here they are. They want to make Reading their home. So the 2 other kids, Shanti and Prema, are at the Children's Center right now. Anyway, welcome.
And I just want to say that it's also showed us what an amazing place Reading is, because the doors are opening for them, and wherever they go, people are gracious and giving, and this is the place to be. It's really is a place of the heart. Yeah.
That was the best news ever. If the ushers could come forward, please. And join with me as we prepare to give our offering. Our hearts are filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for our spiritual well-being. We're filled with gratitude, knowing that life stays in balance. As we give, we receive. We give thanks for these blessed donations received in the offering this morning and during the week. And I know each dollar supports this spiritual family in so many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that this center has been blessed with today and always. And so it is. Closing song? Do we have a closing song? Okay, good.
You can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. Oh, my sweet, sweet child. Who do you think you are? You are a child of God, and that will never change. You had a dream, you misunderstood. You thought we were separate, but now you hear my voice and you can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. You are the love of my life.
separate. But now you hear my voice and you can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. You are the love of my life. You are my one creation. You are eternity, and that will never change.
Wow. Lindy, that song. I used to sing to you and Chris. The vulnerability that touches the mother's heart. That we all have that, right? Just that love for one another, so deep, so eternal. And you sing it like angels. I've never heard it performed more beautifully. I'm being a big baby. But it's just love. And then as much as I love my children, that love I spread to you. It's because we've all grown up together. This is such a great place. And we're about to do a yard sale, a rummage sale. So peace be with you. Thank you.